Hi and welcome students. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about writing your resume and specifically the first draft of your resume when it comes to your personal experience that you have at your previous places of employment. So let's go ahead and get started. So here's some things that you'll want to think about when talking about your professional experience. First off, you're going to want to include experience that you gained at work, and this experience has to be relevant to the job that you're searching for. So if it's something that you think that your employer would be looking for, then go ahead and add it on there. But it should be a specialized skill that your employer would benefit from. So, for instance, when I was in high school, I worked at a sandwich shop, and I learned some really important things that I still use today, like the importance of arriving to work on time, and working well with coworkers and things like that. However, I do not include that job on my resume anymore because, again, it is not relevant to what I am doing today. So, those types of things that I learned, like showing up on time, that is going to be pretty much assumed. And if I do want to talk about that during the interview, I can talk about that in relation to many of the other jobs that would be more relevant for a job that I would be looking for now. So, again, if it's not relevant to your current job search, you'll probably want to leave it out. And if you do have good examples from it, then you can include it in after you get to your interview. Okay. And so, next thing that we're going to talk about is anything that you haven't already included, but that illustrates your special qualities and enhances your marketability, can be stated in a separate section with its own title. Okay. Here's some examples. Let's say that you have a resume and you have your experience already written out, but there's some other things that you want to include on there, like your professional licenses and certifications. You may want to have a separate section just for those. So let's say that you've been taking some of my courses and you have 3 different Microsoft Office Specialist certifications. Well, you're going to want to put those into a certification section. Now, if let's say you only had one, maybe you put that at the bottom of one of your current jobs, just under your experience. You put, I also have an MOS Word 2016 certificate. But if you have like 3 or more certificates, then you're going to want to put them in a separate section. And also, let's look at some other things that you might want to include, like publications. Let's say that you've written some piece of work and it got featured on a website, or you've completed something that, again, maybe was featured in a book or website. You're going to want to add that to it, as well as your professional organization membership. So if you are part of an organization that is relevant to the job that you're applying to, you're going to want to make sure that you put that organizational membership on there. Okay. Foreign languages is something that's often overlooked on resumes, but I always tell my students, hey, if you speak another language, then you're going to want to put that onto your resume as well. Also, you're going to want to indicate the degree of fluency in that foreign language. So make sure that if you can speak another language and you can write another language and you're fluent within it, that you specify that. So make sure that it's not only included, but your level of fluency is indicated as well. The last part that I'm going to talk to you about is awards and travel. So let's say that you were awarded something in high school or college or whatever point of your career that you're at. You're going to want to include it again if it's relevant. So, for instance, let's say that I was on the honor roll in junior high school. Well, that was a long time ago. Obviously, I'm not going to include that anymore. But if I'm a high school student and I was awarded that, and maybe I'm a junior in high school and I want to go out and get maybe the job at the sandwich shop that I was looking at, maybe I put it in there. So again, it's all subjective in terms of what should be included. So if I'm going for my first job, maybe I put that I was in honor roll in high school, or different clubs that I was in high school, something like that. But if I'm further along in my career, obviously I'm not going to include that anymore. Um, uh, a, the last one that I'm going to talk to you about is travel. Occasionally, you will travel to other places as part of like a conference or a workshop or speaking engagements, anything like that. If it is relevant to your experience, then you want to add that in. I know that for teaching, I've been to conferences in Nashville and Austin, Texas, and New Orleans. So those experiences that are relevant to teaching and kind of getting a perspective of different parts of America, it's relevant to the experience that I have. And so I include those sort of things within my experience when it comes to my resume. So hopefully this video has explained a little bit more about what should and should not be included in on a resume, depending on where you're at in your life stage and your career exploration. So I hope this video has helped you out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you have any questions or comments, please put it in the comment section below and I'll do my best to respond to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I do appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.